The 200 mile an hour, which is the the magic number for the supercar back in the late 80s and early 90s, and also the three different cars in contribution of the 200 mile an hour. Well, actually, I said it want to say it because it was potentially got back in the late 80s and 90s, I should say. And then these cars, well, I should say there are three cars I really on Gran Turismo 7, but I decided to record it because I need to drive it. So we in Gran Turismo 7, as you probably know, and these three cars is legendary because the number 200 miles an hour or 320 kilometers an hour if you are using the metric system. Okay, this is the car we just got 200 miles at top speed. Well, we didn't have Bugatti EB110 yet because you know what I mean. We have three cars which is 200 miles an hour. The first car we came up with 200 miles an hour top speed, which is 201 miles an hour, I should say, Ferrari F40, the 212 miles an hour for supercar, the Jaguar XJ220, and then the legendary McLaren F1. Yeah, the three of these cars, I should say. Well, you might be thinking, are you sure you want to do these three cars in one video? Yes, I am actually. I recorded the intro a couple of days ago because I won it. This is one of the greatest car of all time. I know you said 1992 model year, but this car came out in 1987. This is a Ferrari F40, the one of the greatest Ferrari ever built in 1980s. Yeah, the 80s, and also the 288 GTO is also the greatest one as well. And also the one thing is, this is the last Enzo Ferrari ever, the last Enzo Ferrari approved for the supercar as well. Yeah, that time. And you may notice. And one thing about F40, this car not just conquered a supercar world, and also it compete on the racing world as well. Yeah, you may notice the F40 LFM already. Yes, it was the most coolest car of all time. The collector's items, we should say, the F40 one of the greatest cars ever. And another thing about F40, the styling on it, designed by Pininfarina, and also the two-seater coupe, red seat, belt harnesses, and also carbon fiber stuff as well. Carbon fiber goodies, as you probably know, and also what is it, Alcantara. Yeah, as is. Even look at the inside on them. You may notice it's pretty much the coolest car ever built. Yeah, it is. Underneath of this car is pretty much the most powerful thing ever. The 2.9 liter twin turbocharged V8. Yeah, it's a V8, 2.9 liters. And also, this is the second Ferrari ever have with the twin turbocharged engine. And then current days in the Ferrari, you may notice it have a turbocharged as these days for production car. It has a 471 horsepower and also 576 Newton meters of torque and weighs about 1.1 ton. Yes, it's just 1.1 ton supercar. You may notice. And another one, some people notice. You may know. It's only 1,350 ever built because people demanded about to have one of these things as well. Yeah, 1,315 one of these things ever built. No, because there's a lot of demand on this. From 1987 to 1992, this is the car. It's the best sounding engine and also the most best sounding blow-off valve ever. And you might be thinking, when you can buy one of these things, I can show you now. Now, unfortunately, we can't show you all the historical stuff because it run out of the stuff in this game. But you need to wait for one of these things to appear. And also, don't ask me why you draw one of these. This is my car in Gran Turismo 7. Yeah. And one thing about this particular car, it's the most best looking car ever built. Literally. Speaking of 200 mile an hour, okay, I literally quite a lot of cars in this. 670 kilometers. I didn't say that in that. I always would put it on this car. We have the ultimate of the ultimate Jags of Jag. Yeah, I said Jag of Jag. It's a Jaguar. You may notice it. Yeah, it is actually. This is a car. You might be thinking it is one of the greatest Jaguar ever built. The original concept of the XJ220, it would have 6.2 liter V12 engine, 500 horsepower, 542 newton meters of torque, and four-wheel drive. However, the financial on this they had to change the game. With the smaller displacement, six less cylinder, and also the displacement is way lower as well. But it's more power. The 3.5 liter twin turbocharged V12 engine produces 515 horsepower. Some sources said 542 horsepower on it, and also one thing, 641 newton meters of torque, and also weighs about 1,372 kilos. And you might thinking about this Jaguar is also it doesn't have a four-wheel drive. Yeah, the original concept is four-wheel drive, but the production version is rear-wheel drive. And how cool is it? Even though less displacement and more power, and also faster as well. Yeah, the top speed of this is 210 miles an hour Jaguar as well, 338 kilometers an hour. The Ferrari F40 is 324, which is a 201 mile an hour top speed. Yes, you might be thinking, how much did this car cost? It's over $1 million. Yes, it's 600,000 in this game. You can rate it on one of these things as well. I pretty much love how it looks, as you probably know. I personally love this XJ220. And the 90s is pick the name. Well, actually, pick the name. The pick of the pioneer machine. Number one, it's from McLaren. Number two, it's made in Britain. And three, this car in the over the decade actually, is the fastest normally aspirated engine ever built. And also the world record holder for the fastest normally aspirated car ever in the Guinness World Record. I know the Bugatti Veyron already beat his car at 253 miles an hour, which is 407 kilometers an hour. This thing is 390 kmh, which is 241 miles an hour. And the car I'm going to talk about is this, the ultimate pioneers of supercar. This is a pioneer of the greatest car made in England as well, the McLaren F1. You might thinking about McLaren F1, it's a fully amazing engine. Yeah, it has a normally aspirated manual gearbox, no traction control, no ABS. It's just driving focused car. And also the one thing about this car, it has 3 seats. Yes, and also the driver's seat is the middle, so they have the F1 sensation. Because of the name F1, it was the driving focused supercar of all time. One thing about the McLaren F1 is it's designed by Gordon Murray as well. You might thinking about this car, even though they cost it when it came out, £500,000. Yeah, £500,000 when it came out. Yeah, some sources said £625,000. But this thing is everything. The iconic name, the McLaren F1. It was actually the one thing about this car. This is the first carbon fiber body in ever built. Well, yes, it is. The body is made from carbon fiber. The first production car, I believe, one of the. I'm not sure about it, but this is one of the carbon fiber body car as well. And another thing about F1, it's one of the greatest looking ever built. It doesn't ages. It still looks brand new for me. It looks brand new. Look at the design on it. Now the engine of you probably thinking, what the engine you might thinking about this? The V12? No. The engine designed by BMW as well. A 6.1 liter BMW V12 engine, 626 horsepower. The torque is pretty much big and also more powerful as well. 651 Newton meters of torque. The gearbox is 6-speed manual gearbox, and the weight about this car is 1,139 kilos. Well, 1,140 kilos if I can say it. But this car, and also the engine in the mid-engine rear-wheel drive, and also the engine bay is made with gold. The gold is the best heat reflector as well. Another thing about F1, McLaren F1, it's the most best looking. It doesn't age aged at all. It's still McLaren F1. Yeah, it was the best looking supercar of all time. I'm not gonna say it. Like if you compare with the Lamborghini Countach and also Ferraris, it's pretty much aged it. But this one, timeless as car, the most timeless looking in time capsule ever, the best looking supercar of all time, and also the a driving position middle has good gear tires on the production as well, and also the top speed on this thing, 241 mile an hour. And if you can, you want to hit by the metric system, is 380 kilometers an hour. This thing, this car, still the fastest normally aspirated production car ever built by by so far. Yeah, no record no record being beaten today because this car, the only normally aspirated engine and car is hold record 241 mile an hour as well. The Bugatti Veyron is 407 kilometers an hour because the twin turbo chop. I said twin turbo. It's quad turbo 8-liter W16 four-wheel drive. This one pure normally aspirated manual gearbox, no traction control, no ABS, and also no turbos, no force induction as well. Yeah, that's what kind of good bet as well. Oh yeah, Jay Leno have one of these things as well. So when you gotta drive these titans of the Titan and supercar, you gotta drove. Well, first of all, I own the F40 because I drove the home course. Yeah, we gotta drove the home course of the this one is the okay. I gotta say the home course of it. We're gonna drove in a Monza. Usually, yeah, I always drove it at Monza. For Monza. Yeah, I drove these things every time as well. So before we get into this is the greatest car of all time. These three titans will drop in different track. So let's get started anyway. But some people said this is the legendary. Sorry, my television remote just fell off. Sorry about that. But some people said this is one of the greatest legendary machine of all time. Yes, it's one of the legendary machine of all time. This particular McLaren F1 has quite a lot of stuff, not just carbon fiber body. A car, which is the first carbon fiber body. The F40 was carbon Kevlar, I believe. Carbon Kevlar. I'm not sure if I correct me if I'm wrong. This particular car, not just as that, it has quite a lot of version of the F1, the McLaren F1. This is a normal, the basic model, the base model, the F1, which is also the most coolest one. The F1 LM, which is a paint with the McLaren orange, the iconic McLaren orange as well. The F1 GT, which is a long tail version, but without weight on it. The short wheelbase version of McLaren F1 GTR, and also the McLaren F1 GTR long tail version. Okay, the simple way I gotta put a picture on it. You may thank me later, because I always want to put it on a McLaren F1 as well. This F1 not just a driving focus sensation because of the driver's seat in the middle and also 3 seats. it as well. And another thing is, this car cost when I saw it auction on the internet, it costed 20 million as well. It's mind blowing as well, and also super rare to find one of these things. Jay Leno have one of these things. Rowan Atkinson have one of these things before because he crashed twice, I believe. People said he crashed twice, and also daily he also drive it as well. Keep it. Rowan Atkinson drive one of these things as well. Now you may notice, and also when I saw that on the Shmi 150 on the McLaren F1 GTR, Rowan Atkinson have one of these. I have one of these. You may know. Well, and featured in Top Gear a couple of times as well. The legendary battle between a McLaren F1 and the Bugatti Veyron 1 mile drag race in Dubai. That was the most best video I ever watched on YouTube as well. Yeah, it was the best looking car. Another thing about the McLaren F1 is it looks. It's so timeless classic. I say timeless legendary machine. It's the most best looking, the best sounding, the best engine, 6.1 liter V12. I believe it has ITVs, individual throttle bodies, to say. This one, another one here, the Jaguar XJ220. This car is, like I said, it has a. I maybe say already, but you guys didn't notice about it. This thing built also not just Jaguar, it also built with Tom Walkinshaw Racing as well, TWR, I should say, in a simple way. But this car is the most coolest thing Jaguar ever built. Oh, in the century 1990s. This is a 92 as well. And also, Jaguars have always built a cool car, including the E-Type Jag, the F-Type Jag, the XKR, XFR, the XJR, which you may notice as well. And also, Jeremy said Jag. Yeah, Jeremy said Jag. But I pretty much love how the Jaguars classic Jaguar was. The legendary XJ220 is one of the greatest examples of all time. The timeless classic and also legendary machine. Mid-engine railway drive twin turbocharged 3.5 liter V6 engine, and as well manual gearbox. Yeah, manual gearbox is. I think this is the greatest transmission ever have as well. Another car I want to talk about, the F40. F40 is one of the greatest supercar of all time. The 80s vibe from 1987 to 1992, and also this is I believe people said this is a carbon fiber Kevlar, I should say. This thing is the most timeless supercar with twin turbocharged V8. Now, you might be thinking that this F40 about over 200,000 pounds. Maybe when it came out actually. 150,000 pounds for the 959, the big record. This F40. The F40 was the first car achieved 201 mile. Well, I said 200. It's 201. The first production car achieved 200 mile an hour magic, and top speed of 201 on MPH, which is 324. And another thing, F40, yeah, I gotta say, the silhouette styling, the car on it, the reason why Jeremy Clarkson preferred F40 from the McLaren F1, he always loved it. I quite love this particular car. And I also have these Sabel harness, a 5-point harness, I should say, and a red seat. This is a pure track focused car, and also the blow-off valve is so nice to hear as well. And then I also have a Brembo brakes. This is how cool it is. The detail on this thing is timeless classic. Yeah, it was not just classic; it was a legendary, I should say. So thank you so much for watching the video as well for this Gran Turismo 7. Sorry, I almost say one thing. I almost said live stream. Sorry about that. Thank you so much for watching this video of the Gran Turismo 7. If you want to see more Gran Turismo 7 and any other video on this channel, be sure to smash the like, subscribe if you're new, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Hoyolab, and also TikTok. Link in the description box below. See you in the next video info. Assalamualaikum and goodbye.